The Weekly Warp Pipe.
What's up, Jay?
Oh, just throwing out weird ideas for the weekly warp pipe that Russ may or may not find appealing, as always.
I leave topics up to Jay this month. We get love ballads, soft rock love ballads, and we're gonna be chatting about YouTube channels.
Yeah,
Yeah.
YouTube channels that aren't retro gaming channels, because I feel like when I first started watching YouTube, it was all the typical videos. It was the game chasers, it was the Russ Lymans, if you will. It was the not the Pixel Game Squads, but the Retro Liberties, the angry video game nerds, the Michael B. the Game Genies. Like, I was just consuming as much as I could because it was like I thought the NES library was like this big, and I found out it was like this big, and I was like, "Sweet, I need to learn about all these games." So, but
Makes sense, but probably similar to me. Getting back into retro gaming, collecting, and stumbling upon an angry video game nerd video, and then finding these other people who collect games or watching people game hunt. I certainly spent a majority of my time watching those types of videos, but we'll kind of dive into a little bit of now how we're consuming YouTube, how often we are, where we are, and what channels we're watching. I thought it'd be kind of fun. We did ask you guys as well, so we'll see what you guys are watching on YouTube that isn't retro game related.
yeah. Yeah, it's interesting because I feel like I still love retro games, but once you've been in the community as long as we have, Russ, don't you feel sometimes like you kinda seen it all already? Do you feel that way ever?
Yeah, it's certainly hard to keep it fresh. I will say I almost come at some of the videos I watch with a more critical eye
Yeah.
because I myself is still creating content like weekly over and over and over again. So then when I'm watching another video trying to keep my attention, I'm like, oh, it's just one static
Then
clip,
don't watch
whatever.
my
And I'm like
videos, Russ.
I'm like, there's no cut to B roll, there's no gameplay footage or this. And
Right.
I'm like, sometimes I can't fully watch everything. I'm like, I get the gist of it, but and even sometimes I do watch them at a higher speed. Have you done that?
Ooh.
You watch videos at like
No, because
1.5 speed?
I would rather just not watch it than do that.
You're like, I could burn through this video and save myself 3 minutes on to the
Y
next one.
But one thing that I find really hard to watch now, like, some of our friends' channels, like, um, I don't know, I find it hard to watch Pixel Game Squad's game hunting videos now, and I don't know exactly what it is about it. Um, I I don't know. I mean, part of me is like, I've seen everything. There's not really anything that blows my mind anymore, you know what I mean? Like last week, I know Aaron had, or it was like a week or 2 ago maybe, but Aaron had like a Earthbound on the thumbnail, and I was like, "Cool, Earthbound." I mean, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's cool, but like, I've seen it before. And
Right,
then
right.
I think the other thing too is like, maybe when I first started watching, it was like, "Oh, how do people kind of collect on a budget?" Like, you know, but now I feel like people can just throw so much money at collections,
Hmm.
and it's like, of course you got it. You can afford it.
Right.
It's not like you're trying to find some I think they still do a good job of, like, finding things cheap, and they have made lots of what's the word I'm looking for? Like, connections with people, in
Right.
the community,
Connections. Hmm.
especially, at the
That
thrift
certainly
store,
helps.
at the flea markets they go to, they a lot of people hold them stuff, but, like, some of that thrill of the hunt is just it's not there for me anymore, and I just feel like maybe it's because I know people can afford stuff, and I don't know, and maybe people have always been able to afford stuff. I don't know what's changed exactly. I'm having a hard time articulating it, but I just find it slightly less exciting than I used to. And that goes for most gaming channels. Like, I really only watch a couple gaming channels. Like, yours is one of the ones that I still watch, and not everything. But I also don't expect you to watch everything I do either. I mean, it's weird because NES Complex, when I became friends with Chris several years ago, and I would be like, "Hey, you watch this? You watch this?" And he was like, "I don't really watch much gaming YouTube." And I was like so surprised by that.
Uh-huh.
I think he had got to this point then that I'm getting to now where it's like you just consume it so much and it's like, you've seen it all.
Well, I will say, like, if you're, because we're looking at YouTube at a different than a regular consumer who's just
Correct.
watching to watch it, right? We're also in it. We're creating content or have created content
Right.
around it. So you have to limit your time with how much you're consuming, I guess, YouTube, and you have to spend time making content. In the early stages, yes, perfect. Consume everything in your niche because you're
Right.
getting ideas, you're getting inspiration. You're like, oh
Yeah.
yeah, that's a good video idea. I could put a spin on that.
Right.
And it certainly helps. And again, you're getting that engagement where it's like, oh, I watch your stuff, you watch my stuff. Maybe you can jump on a collab and keep in that. But
Yeah.
certainly now, and I've been on YouTube, I think 12 years doing content, and recent dad. Gwen's one now, so I have a 1 year old and I have to
Yeah.
watch her. It certainly limits the time I can just like veg out and watch
Right.
YouTube. And then also I'm watching it with my wife. We're on the couch. So then I kind of have to watch something that she's into, and she doesn't want to watch 5 game hunting videos in
Right.
a row.
Right.
Essentially, we'll pop on a Pixel Game Squad here and there,
Yeah.
maybe one of Rick's, but I can't get every single upload on it. Maybe I'll
Mm,
pop in, leave a comment to say, hey, I'm here, cool stuff,
yeah.
and dip out.
I think I watched everything Tyler puts out because his stuff's so unique, you know what I mean? It's more like nostalgia. It's not like, "Look what I got." It's more like, "Look what I got 30 years ago." Which
Right,
not
right,
everybody can show you that. Um, and most of NES Complex's stuff, I think I watch because he's like a 1 or 2 videos a year maybe at this point because he's so busy. So it's easy to consume that, every now and again, Gaming Historian might put something out, and their stuff is, like, so educational. But as
right.
far as just, like, the day-to-day grind, I don't really watch that stuff anymore, so but, uh but that's actually not what we're here to talk about, I guess. Sorry to go off on that tangent, but I just kinda went with it.
Well, it's
But
kind of with the topic of like, okay, so why aren't you watching retro
right, yeah,
video
so
game
why
channels? So here's the other channels we're watching,
yeah, so this is what
kind
I
of
am.
because of that. Here's the backstory.
That that you nailed it, Russ. That's it. So I'll just start off with a channel that I absolutely love. And I started watching this guy probably like 4 or 5 years ago, and he does like I started getting into him because he did like a lot of crazy eating challenges. Like really pushing his body to the limits. Like he would eat like cactuses. Like that's crazy. Like I never seen
What?
anything like that. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like
yeah, yeah.
a mouthful of prickers. From cactuses. But L.A. Beast. This dude, his name is Kevin and he lives, like, in the New Jersey area. He used to live in LA, and, he just has a very likable personality. He seems like just like this normal, down to earth guy that just happened to get on YouTube at the right time and make it big, and, he has, like, all these funny little personality quirks where he goes like, "Have a good day," just he's just a funny dude, and he gets on in live streams. Now he's been doing a lot of these, like, Sunday science videos.
Okay.
Um, he, like I don't know if you know what a Flowbee is, but it's, like, this weird haircut thing that came out in the
Right,
'90s.
like a vacuum. Yeah.
Yeah, he gave himself a haircut with a Flowbee one time. So he's always trying to, like, keep it real unique, real interesting. Um, One
I
time
almost
he ate, like, 1,000 warheads one time,
I'm
and,
trying
like
to see because I'm like, it's funny how a lot of these look vintage, and then I'm looking at 'em like, "This is 11 years ago, this is 9 years ago." I'm like,
yeah.
"Oh, okay."
Yeah, so a
But
lot of 'em but if I bet if you went to his videos, you would see his recent stuff.
so 12 days ago, 3 weeks ago, 1 month ago. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So he does, like, Sunday science videos, he even did for a while, he would do, he would take a metal detector in his backyard and just go see what he finds, and, like, that was really interesting to see. He'll do food challenges from time to time. So him and his wife are actually expecting a baby in, like, the
Okay.
next month or 2. And kinda to prepare for that, he's done, like, a lot of things to better himself as a human, like, he used to drink, heavily, I guess, So he's like been sober for like 50, 60 days now. He's like fully cut drinking out. He's been getting up at like 6, 6:30 and doing like these morning live streams every morning for like an hour to like boost his algorithm, to like get more views because he's got a kid coming, so he's got to like pay for diapers and food and stuff. And then and
Does that
also just
work? Should I be live streaming at 6 a.m.?
I don't know. I mean, I get up and watch him just about every morning, and then like so it's like a way for him to engage with his audience, but it's not like super overwhelming because not as many people are on at that point.
Okay. So what you say the thing that drew you to checking this channel out is his personality, right? Essentially, quirky
Yeah,
personality, and it's cool to see his like day-to-day life, and he has some goals. Like, okay, he's bettering himself. So, like, I could see people being attracted to that. Like, hey, maybe I want to quit drinking, but I'm struggling. And then you watch this channel, and you're like, well, he did it.
right.
Maybe I can. I have the support.
And he used to smoke weed even because and he said, like, "I just wanna be clear-minded. I wanna when my son's born, I just wanna be able to think clearly as possible," so he stopped doing that. And the part of the early morning live stream also is just to get him on, like, a better routine, like, he's waking up early now because he's gonna have to get up early with his kid, and he's going to bed on time now,
Yeah.
like so he's just an interesting dude. He seems very down to earth, and, yeah, and he's hilarious, and he's got a huge backlog, so you can go back and watch all kind of fun videos he did. He let, bullet ants bite his hands one time in, like, South America.
Jeez Louise.
I mean, the dude's put himself through all kind of misery for, like, your entertainment, so LA Beast, highly recommend him. If you go and sub to him, tell him, please, that his good old buddy NES Addict sent you.
There you go.
Yeah,
Nice.
LA Beast.
LA Beast.
Have a good day.
Not to be confused with Mr. Beast.
Exactly.
I'm gonna showcase this guy. I do watch most of my YouTube stuff now is either DIY related or like woodworking related, or if you look at like my suggested page, there's a lot of kids stuff because have YouTube on when Gwen's watching Miss Rachel or whatever. I'll get suggestions for kids stuff. Or my wife likes to watch a lot of food, like cooking shows and stuff like that. So usually when we're on the couch, we'll kind of jump back and forth between there. But if I have some free time, I am checking out the Craftsman. No T. This is
Does he eat macaroni and cheese?
Steady Crafting. So
Oh.
the Craftsman, CRAFS. So he never shows his face or his hands when he's working. He always has black gloves on, and he uses this puppet to like talk to you. But he does all these fun DIY projects where he's working on like
Dude, like melting a pill bottle into a robot? That sounds amazing.
right. He has so many different types of crafts videos. He'll get like parts from the dollar store and make like a speeder bike, make your own custom action figures, and even more. But you just have his style is where everyone gets it. He's like smooth talking, like quirky. Like, let's see, I'll just jump into
Dude,
this
I
here
gotta
and
see
see.
this guy.
Auto 7.
Okay, I've been calling it Otto 7. It's you saying Otto 7.
Auto 7.
Yeah.
This is
We'll come back
great.
to it. Looks like we got a little bag of cartilages right there.
And the
Auto
way it's
7.
like, take this right here, right here.
Yeah. Dude,
And
this
he just,
guy's
it's the way he talk, and he always has that puppet, but like, it's so
And let
good the
that
way he
heat
films
conduct
stuff.
in there.
Like
Soft
everything
to
is like
fat. A little
so
bit
much
gentle,
thought
not the
put
fat
into
and
it
plastic.
with
And
the
that
aesthetic and everything.
pull that brass nut out.
this guy's
Now,
amazing.
before I do any kind of heating up and releasing fumes into there, I'm gonna either put on my respirator and or put a fume extractor next to this, or get some cross ventilation, or take it out on the porch. Really, I'm doing it in here so I can get out with it.
But
What
he's
if you found out later that the person whose hands you see isn't the same person whose voice you hear?
it
Wouldn't
could
that be a
be, yeah,
Hello,
twist?
that
and
that's
welcome to
true.
the Craftsman Show.
So
My
sometimes he
name is
uses the
your
full
host, the
little
Craft
puppet.
Man. In today's video, we're going to talk about how that you can make something that looks like metal and that you can use in your independent film productions and things like that.
Whoa, did you see it bounce? Didn't look
'Cause
like
it's
it's not
rubber.
metal.
Right,
Yeah.
he cast it so it's rubber. He has so many interesting videos, and I found him out from my buddy, Tom Dietz, who actually, does my website. He does the weekly warpipe.com. He put it together, and one day he was over at Dave's house, and he was like, "You gotta see this guy, the craftsman." And, like, you could literally put him on. I would say I would compare him as he's the Bob Ross of DIY
Dude, he is the Bob
because his
Ross.
voice is so, like, lower tone and
Yeah.
soft. You
He's the
can just, like,
craftsman.
watch him craft and freaking fall asleep or just chill out, like, "Today
Yeah.
today we're gonna be crafting this boat that's made out of rubber. Cool." And you're
Dude,
like,
I
"What?"
love this guy already.
So, if you like DIY stuff, like, just give one video a watch, and he blew up so good, and people, like, love supporting his stuff,
Yeah.
and,
He's got such original flair, you know?
right, that's what stands out, like, I don't see anyone doing cool stuff like that,
No.
the way he just edits the videos and he has the puppet, and it even gets more extravagant. The last video I saw, the puppet had, like, cardboard armor on, and he was, like, talking and stuff, and I was
And I
like,
love
"This is
how, like,
hilarious."
mysterious it is, like, who is this craftsman?
Right, and he
We don't know.
never shows his face, and he refers to his
He's
wife
like
and
Wilson
right,
from Tool Time,
from Home
from
Improvement
Home Improvement.
over the fence.
"Howdy there, neighbor."
So I dig it. Maybe I'll use some tips and, get some custom parts on Rob so Rob
There
can
you
dress up.
go. Maybe Rob can be like a craftsman.
And craftsman, crafting it up.
That's cool, dude. That's a good one. I like that. That's
Nice.
perfect. All right, so my next one is this dude from one of my favorite cities because I'm a big Pittsburgh Penguins fan, and he happens to just be from Bethel Park, Pennsylvania. Weird Paul.
Oh, yeah, I know Weird Paul.
So what got me onto Weird Paul was the YouTube algorithm
YouTube!
showed YouTube. It showed me a video where he did like a McDonald's breakfast review. And I thought it was like
This
the funniest thing I'd ever seen.
and I think I wanna say David Apuzzo, our mutual friend, who lives out in California, Eric, I think interviewed him or did something. He might have made a movie about it, and I was like, he's like YouTube before YouTube was anything, like 30 years ago.
Yeah,
He has so much retro stuff, like, that he shows off, like, I remember I just seen a video of him. I
do
mean,
his
he's all over.
breakfast review. Do his McDonald's
I'll
breakfast
look
review.
for
It's
the breakfast
so
review.
funny. He's like, "Hey, it's Paul here," and he has like these big glasses on, and he's like this cute little kid, and he's like, "Oh, we got some McMuffin here and some and he's like, "You know what this is? This is a whole bunch of bird turd," and I'm like, "What?" And like, what does that mean? Yeah, that one right there. It's 1984. We were 3.
Hi there.
Oh, so this is actually him in
This is
1984.
Paul. And we
Oh,
just
look.
got a McDonald's breakfast, okay? And this is what they look like. Yo. Okay. Now
I
I know
love it.
how to
I love how
combine
awkward it
but
is.
there's still some left here. Let me go show you what everything is. Okay. There's this right here.
So this is vintage footage that he recorded back in the day. It's almost like Tyler's doing.
And
Yeah.
scrambled it. That's pretty good. Now these are this here. These are English muffins. Very good.
It's like, who would have thought to film
Now this
themselves
is
back in
sausage. I think
80
it's
something,
something
like,
you
I'm
can
gonna
see.
do a review
I've eaten
Right.
otherwise
on,
or
like,
whatever,
food, like,
but
that wasn't a thing, really.
This is like the original snacky snack time.
yeah, right. But it's not that. They actually
But I seen him do one where he went through all his, um, video rental cards, and he
Yeah.
was showcasing he had must have been 30 of them and still saved them all. So he has a plethora of, like, vintage everything, and I guess footage, I didn't even know that, footage from the '80s of him
Yeah.
as a child.
And the other thing that his family is very interesting for is they kept everything, Russ. Like, he'll be like, "Check this out. I have, uh, old bubblegum wrappers from 1985." And it'll be like, "This is from Bazooka Joe. I remember buying this with my mom at the grocery store," you know? And he has, like, all these crazy collections of stuff, like, that go way back. And then the other thing that's neat is he does thrift store hauls. So
Yeah.
there must be a really good thrift store on the south side of Pittsburgh because, um
Hey YouTube, it's Weird Paul.
he's always finding the craziest
Time
stuff.
for another thrift store score video, and
Now
today we'll take a look at my
Now this
thrift
is
store
new,
haul
but the way he
haul
shot it,
2023.
it's in that 4:3
Let's start
aspect
off with books
ratio, and it looks
magazines.
old.
So he uses his
There's one
original
book this
camera
time,
that
but
he's been using for like 30 years, I think. So he has like this what got me thinking about this topic, Russ, was
Yeah.
2 days ago. I was listening to a podcast at work and Weird Paul was on it, and he was talking about his documentary called Will Work for Views. So I rented it on Amazon, and man, it just like sent me down this Weird Paul rabbit hole. I was like, we got to think about Weird Paul on our podcast because like I'm obsessed. I love this dude. He's so rad, and he's like in his 50s now. He was born in 71, so he's exactly 10 years older than we are.
Okay.
And but he's just so interesting.
Oh.
What'd you
So
find?
my buddy Eric in California directed that documentary.
So he's the one that directed that documentary. That's
He's on
so
there.
rad.
Eric
Yeah.
Schrader.
Yep, that's who did it.
Yeah, because he used to be in a pop punk band back in the day called Grover Dill that we played with, and then he went out to California, and I guess he's edited it for like Discovery Channel and won like a Golden Globe or like an Oscar, not one of those awards. I can't remember what for his editing and this and that. And
That's so funny.
yeah, brought that up. So I haven't watched the documentary. We'll work for views.
It's really good. I feel like he does a really good job of like capturing like who Paul is and like some of his struggles. Like one of the funniest parts in this video, in my opinion, is like so Paul's like he's like kind of an underweight kind of guy. Like I consider myself to be a pretty large dude. I'm like, I mean, not huge, but like I'm like 188 pounds roughly, you know, and Paul's probably like 130, you know what I mean? And so like he has this like shed in his backyard, and it's like the shed's like got a slight lean to it, so you can see that's like it's probably not the safest, right? So the city's telling him to tear it down. And he's like, "Oh, I hate yard work." He's like, you know, walking out and he's like, "I gotta figure out how to tear this thing down." And he's like trying to pull this door off of it. And he's like, "I guess I need a screwdriver." And he's like, the city's worried about this thing falling down. He's like, "I can't even rip the door off." It's just it's a great documentary. I suggest, especially since your friend made it, rent it. It's a lot, and there's a director's cut which is cheaper than the original one, and you get like 15 more minutes. It was only like $1.99 on Amazon Prime.
Okay. Yeah, it's here on IMDb.
Yeah, it was great. I loved it. Great job, Eric.
At the age of 13, Paul Petrowski started making videos of himself in hopes of becoming famous. 30 years, 2,000 videos, 160 songs, 42 records, and 11 cameras later, he's still trying.
Dude, that's the other thing. He has these hilarious songs. Like, look up his song, Pot of Macaroni. It is so funny.
Pot of Macaroni.
I sing this song all the time to myself.
Let's see.
He also has a song about cereal. He goes, "What a meal! What a meal! A whole bowl of cereal! What a meal!" It's great. It's so lo-fi, but it's just awesome.
Pot of macaroni, pot of macaroni, pot of macaroni, pot of macaroni, pot of macaroni.
You know what it actually reminds me of?
What's that?
It kind of reminds me of the Aquabats. I feel like that is like a song they would do.
Yeah.
It's good. It's catchy.
And he makes it, and yeah, and then it eventually, you know, the song eventually changes. He goes, "It's in a pot of boiling hot water." It's great, dude. All his songs are so wacky and so wild,
Nice.
and just fun. And when you watch Weird Paul, you feel happy.
Weird Paul. Yeah, definitely check it out. That's definitely off the realm of retro gaming, but still retro.
Yeah,
If you're
yeah,
into retro
absolutely.
things, because it seemed like you said, yeah, he has the thrift hall finds and stuff, and I saw old Ninja Turtles books, some lunch pails.
Oh yeah, he's got it all.
Nice, I dig it. I dig it. Who else was I gonna bring up? I've talked about this channel before, and I kind of got some inspiration from them. Is the Y Files? I don't know if you heard of this channel here
No, I
before.
haven't.
Essentially, it dives into their longer videos, and they do a lot of conspiracy
Ooh, the Anunnaki.
videos.
Yeah, I like it.
And essentially,
It's right up my
let's,
alley.
let's see, does it stay on there? Yeah, okay, good. Um, I mean, they got aliens, crypto people, space stuff, like so many different videos that
Ooh, I like
cover
it.
good topics. And the way he formats it is fantastic. And once I show you, you're going to be like, oh, okay. So let's see here. I'll just jump into what's his latest video. Oh, it was the Anunnaki.
This episode of the Y Files is brought to you by Audible.
That's okay. We'll skip over that.
I hear Pete! To go from discovering writing to landing a man on the moon. Yeah. Okay, to landing something on the moon. Better. So what took so long?
So he has, if you guys can't see it, he has a fish in a fishbowl, and the fish is named Heckle Fish. So what he's doing is heckling
Oh, I've
throughout
seen
the
this guy. I've
episode.
seen this guy before.
And he has a tin foil hat on so the aliens don't read his mind. And the way you could just see everything set up in the background, like with pictures pinned, it's like very good.
Yeah.
But
Why
essentially,
the sudden
I mean, he probably has his full thing scripted where he's reading off the teleprompter
Right.
because he just goes through it flawlessly, and then he'll cut away to like B-roll footage of like aliens or
Right.
pictures and stuff like that. But it's very well done. Like it could have been on Discovery Channel, History Channel, any of those.
Right.
But he has such a good dynamic.
Yeah, he's kind of like it's almost like the Ancient Aliens
Right.
videos in a way. Russ is about to sneeze. Oh, he did it. I
I
thought he was
didn't.
gonna I thought he was gonna mute his mic. He just went for it and sneezed all over us.
I tried. But if you notice, obviously, I took some inspiration there with my top 3 Tuesday and Rob, what they have their
Oh, the goldfish there, yeah.
interaction where I'm like, that's so clever this way. Like, I don't need a physical person. I don't know. Now I have no clue how he does this. Like, obviously, the fish has to be CGI because it's like moving and its lips move and all that. So that's a whole nother
No,
realm.
dude, that's a real fish. You never seen those, huh? You never seen a hecklefish before?
But if you're looking for some good stories, the Y Files, and he does a great job of like while you're watching it to put you in suspense, and he'll be like getting to the peak of some part of the story and kind of leave it on a cliffhanger, and the screen will go black and it'll just have his logo, the WF, and then you're kind of like, what happened? Like, what's
Yeah.
going on? So super cool. The Y Files. If you're
I love
into
it.
anything sci-fi or conspiracies, definitely check them out.
Cool. Well, I'm gonna piggyback off that, Russ. This is a channel that I just forgot about until you mentioned the Y Files, but I'm just gonna bring it up anyway. Um, Here we go. Right here on screen, you got Mr. Ballin. Now that says shorts, but he has full-fledged video.
Okay.
But Mr. Ballin is this dude, and he looks like he's usually always wearing like a flannel and a backwards hat. So obviously I like that about him. But he also tells like real life, true, like creepy stories.
Yeah, I'll give him
And
this
he has like
respect.
this really good voice. Like he's easy to listen to, and he's like a very good storyteller.
Okay.
So he tells these crazy stories about all kind of like creepy things that happen. Um and just does like a really good job setting the scene putting you in the mood. Like often when I listen to it, like I feel like it's like an auditory experience, but you feel like you're really there. Does that make sense?
Right.
So God or a God becomes actively involved in human affairs here on earth. Now, of course, we don't know if divine intervention is a real thing, but
Is he talking about the Anunnaki too?
Yeah, see? There you go.
If you're
But anyway, he always has like a real clever way to tell you to smash the like button. Like he'll be like, all right, and if you like this video, take the like button and lock it in your freezer, you know?
Someone on my Discord or somewhere had brought that up to me, and they're like mentioning like I should do something similar, and I had never heard of that YouTuber before. But
Yeah.
that's clever rather than just be like hit the like button. Be like,
Yeah.
"Hey."
He'll be like, handcuff the like button to your bedpost and leave it there with a food of tray just out of reach for 3 days. You know what I mean? Like just like all kind of like really crazy stuff that kind of like fits his like motif, you know, like the scary stories.
Yeah, yeah. I was gonna say to see the piggyback once again. We're going down the rabbit hole. This is how it
Ooh, I
all
like it,
begins.
Russ. I like it.
If you guys are
And you
into
said we couldn't talk about this for more than 20 minutes. Look at us go. Look at
Get-
us go, Russ.
get your YouTube suggestions here from us if you don't want to watch retro video game stuff. But this is, if it's late at night and the wife fell asleep and I want to put something on and kind of just chill out, or if it's a rainy day, these are good. Like I binge watch so many of the Y-Files, but this guy you were talking about reminded me of this guy, Thoughty 2. I don't know if you heard of this guy, but
Never
again,
heard of Thoughty too.
killer mustache, and he's like super clean. How he dresses, almost
Almost too clean.
50 style or whatever. And
Yeah, he looks a little out of season here.
oh, this one though, I guess newer video, he did shave his
Ooh,
shave
look
his
at him.
mustache.
Looks a little cleaner.
So he does have a little bit of animation in on some of the videos, but a lot of it is like creepy stories. Let's see, I can dive back maybe to something. Gotta love these thumbnails. But he's in just, a black background, very clean, and goes through this is why companies are hiding the truth about batteries.
Yeah.
So conspiracies, if you love that for sure. Meet the fish that shouldn't exist. And these are great thumbnails too. I don't know who the thumbnail designer is.
Yeah.
They
Weird.
definitely draw you in. I gotta say,
Yeah. Those are wild.
what's a creepy one? You're immortal, and I can prove it.
Weird.
I don't know. And it's because he goes when he starts to. He's like, "Hey there, Thoughty 2 here."
I hate to be the Hey.
Oh God,
Forces
is he
G here.
English?
I hate to be the one to break this to you.
Because I always thought, I'm like,
no.
what is he? I thought he said, like, you think he's saying he's 42, but
42,
it's like,
yeah.
but it's like
42,
a
40,
thoughty
40,
2.
40,
I'm not sure the
42.
whole reason behind the
He
channel
must be
name.
like British or English or something. Yeah, he
Your
definitely has an
face is
accent.
covered in thousands of tiny mites
Great.
that spend their days eating your skin and their nights shagging in
Sweet.
your paw.
So I don't know if you like an English accent or not, but
No, I have a really hard time listening to people overseas.
Thoughty 2, he's got 5.38 million subscribers. He's British right here. It says Thoughty 2 Aaron is a British YouTuber
Yeah.
and gatekeeper of useless facts.
Yeah, I struggle with British accents.
Oh, I was gonna say another British one. I'm going 2 for 2. You go after this before I
Okay.
lose the
Yeah,
train of
I
thought.
only have one more that I really, well, maybe two. Okay, fine. Two more. I'll talk about two more.
Let's see. Let me just get the channel pulled up here.
This has been a great topic, I feel like, Russ. I feel like we've been kicking out some great suggestions for these people.
Okay, Colin
I
Furs.
like the name.
He is English, and he is a wild DIYer. He's made like flamethrowers, like motorized contraptions, but his biggest thing right now, he built a tunnel that goes from his house underground
All the way
into
to
his
hell.
garage.
I'm just kidding.
Maybe not to hell, but to now make it even more, he's building a entire tunnel under his um, driveway where he's gonna have a DeLorean. You can see the car here rise up out of the ground and then be able to drive off. And then when you drive in, it's gonna sink back underground and be hidden essentially. But he's literally digging holes under his freaking house.
I'm
And
sure
I'm
his
like,
wife loves that.
My dream internet is to dig a secret underground garage at the front of my house, and at the push of a button, my DeLorean rise up out of the ground and I drive off. It's going to be connected to my secret underground tunnel system, which I've already dug. We've
look
dug
at
a
this.
massive hole in front of that. And in this video, let's start fabricating the room.
So I'm like, I don't even know the budget this guy is on to
Dude,
like,
he's got some Mr. Beast money.
I mean, they're definitely sponsored videos and this and that, but the engineering and like the know-it-all of here,
And he
knowing
does
how
the work himself. Look at this guy.
he's
Look at him
welding,
go.
like, I mean, they got to rent a crane and this and that, but me and my wife both watch this and intrigued. But what's cool is because he's over in overseas and stuff, he puts a ton of um like punk type music
Oh,
in the
nice.
videos. So I'm like, oh, look at this band. Like, okay. And he's always wearing, white shirt with the tie. Like,
Yeah.
so
I like that his name's
Colin
Colin.
Furs. And he does the best videos that are sponsored by Surfshark. Surfshark comes up and he has like an actual shark that he'll like ride on like this crane and he's just zipping around. And I'm
Oh,
like,
that's wild.
I mean, he's going all in on this sponsor.
Dude, might as well. They're probably paying him good money to dig holes in his yard.
Right, right. And what's wild is the house that he's in, it's like one of those like joint houses or whatever that they do
Like a
over.
flat, maybe? Is it
Yeah,
called
and
a flat?
I'm like, how do you even approve like, hey, I'm digging a giant hole under the entire house, and is that okay
Yeah.
with you?
Hope you don't hear it.
Christ.
Mercy.
All right, what do you got, Jay?
All right, I got two more. These are hockey related. So if you don't like hockey, I'm sorry. That's why we saved them for the end. Number one is Steve Dangle. Steve Dangle is like a super fan of the Toronto Maple Leafs, and through watching him, I've become kind of affectionate towards the Maple Leafs, even though my favorite team is the Pittsburgh Penguins. However, last year, for those of you in the know, we got Kyle Dubas, who was the Toronto Maple Leafs former general manager. So I thought that was cool because I already knew who he was because I watched a lot of Toronto games. And we also just got Michael Bunting, which I know none of this means anything to Russ or any of you who don't like hockey. But for me, it's awesome.
I do like
Um,
how all his thumbnails are blue, basically.
So yeah, he calls this the Blue Room. It's basically a blue room in his basement where he has all his Toronto Maple Leafs memorabilia, and
Mhm.
he does what he calls an LFR, a Leaf fan reaction after every single game. So if they win, he goes, "Leafs win!" And if they lose, he just screams and hollers about why they lost.
Fair
And
enough.
and he's made a living out of this. He's a really good communicator, and he does stuff for Sportsnet. We used to, which is the Canadian version of SportsCenter.
Okay.
But now he has what he calls SDPN, Steve Dangle Podcast Network. So he does a podcast with his friends Adam Wild and Jesse Blake, like 3 times a week, and there's other spinoffs. But if you like hockey, or if you happen to be a huge Toronto Maple Leafs fan, which I know they have the hugest fan base of all the NHL because it's just the mecca of hockey. Um, if you meet all of those criteria, you probably already know who he is.
Right. Fair enough.
But if not, it's a really great way to learn about hockey. And so that's one. The other is this guy who started out several years ago. I was a subscriber of his before he even hit 1,000. And he calls his channel The Hockey Guy. And he started out just talking about hockey, um, kind of in passing, really. He would also talk about his life a lot and his relationships. But basically, his channel just went through the roof because he's very knowledgeable about all 32 teams, and he has a ton of jerseys. And basically, he just breaks down games and players and any kind of NHL news. But because he knows stuff about all 32 teams,
Mhm.
like there's something for everybody, no matter who your team is. So he
Right.
like covers the entire NHL. Um, His name's Shannon. He lives up in Canada somewhere. He has a lot of cats, and yeah, it's a really good channel. He's never really done anything divisive. I remember one time I was like, dude, you need better intros. And like, because he does a cold intro, a cold outro. Like, basically, he just comes on. Like, it's just like, hey guys. So today in the NHL, like, there's no
Always
flash,
says, "Hey guys."
there's like no flash, no flare. There's no
Okay.
like. He
Like,
just
welcome back. Hockey is great. Blah, blah,
yeah,
blah, blah,
yeah, like
whatever.
nothing. And I was like, this dude's never gonna make it. Like, no like set background. It's just like basically he proved me wrong. He's got like 310,000 subs, and I still have just under 10. So sorry, Shannon. But those two channels, if you like hockey, great channels.
Nice. We'll jump over our comments and see what you guys are watching on the YouTubes that's not retro games.
What did you say? What did you say?
Springfield, let's hear from you.
Let us hear from you. All right, we'll jump over to our YouTube and see what you guys said. We got Nexus. I would say that 60% of my YouTube subscriptions are game related. I do enjoy good cooking, food review, competitive eating videos as well. Then there are the independent musicians that release a good song every so often, as well as stand-up comedy clips. Every once in a while, there will be a free classic movie or two to watch as well. As for when I consume that is usually on break, lunch, or in the evenings. Yeah, I will say we'll get into like a couple of the comedy clips. We'll watch Fluffy on there, and a few other comedians will stand out, and I'll jump on that. Whose line is it anyways? Like short clips of that, or even The Price is Right.
Nice.
Mike Bomb. I watch a lot of reaction videos, movie, music, food, like Alonda Parker, Z Abbott, Nick Says Boo, Robbie P, Shut Up James, Pugie
Pogo Pillar?
Takeout. I was gonna say Markiplier. Is it Markiplier's second channel? Oh, Damien Drops. I know him. I also tend to watch a lot of horror related content, including the Cherry Picker podcast, which has some fun banter about different horror films, as well as Richard Diaz in Serial at Midnight, who make content about upcoming releases of physical media.
Oh, that reminds me real quick of Serial Time, which is a channel about cereal. Now, I think Serial Time is officially retired, but hopefully his channel's still up. It's really good.
There we go. And then Steve V's Man Cave Arcade.
Steve Eats.
All right, he dropped us down with a top
Ooh,
10 list here
ooh.
real quick. Here's my top 10 non-gaming channels I watch.
Nice.
Busted Open Podcast is a pro wrestling talk show. 3C Films, comic book movies, TV shows. Ralphie CJ Man, toy collecting, toy hunts. Man Cave Masters shows off people's man caves. I wonder if your man cave was on there.
Maybe.
ESPN MMA. So MMA news interviews. Wheezy Blonde, live streaming during wrestling shows. Okay. Chris Van Vliet, interviews mostly pro wrestling. Gem Mint Collectibles, statues and comic books. We got Powerful JRE, Joe Rogan's podcast and clips.
Love Joe Rogan.
And Paige Sopranic, golf tips. And she's hot as bleep.
Nice.
I watch YouTube on my phone most of the time. We'll watch a long form interview on my TV. Listen to a lot of podcasts as well. I'm a huge pro wrestling and MMA fan. So most of the channels I watch have to do with those interests. Nice. That's a good mix there for sure.
Yeah, for sure. It made me think of another one that I want to shout out. Here from Greenville, Toy Federation is a toy store. That's very interesting to watch. They just started a YouTube channel like the last year or so. If you like toy stuff, go check them out. Toy Federation, our hometown toy store.
Yeah. I mean, Pixel Dan's another awesome toy reviewer.
Pixel Dan went to Toy Federation and did a video.
Nice. All right, Facebook. We got Matthew Durkin. I was gonna bring this up. Secret Galaxy is another great toy,
Oh, yeah.
retro like cartoons and
Yep.
everything.
I
And
love
I've met
seeing
him a few times. He came out to Retro World Expo.
Yeah, that guy's really got a great
Dan
voice.
Larson.
Dan Larson, yeah, he's great.
Star Wars Theory for his deep dives into the lore and his what ifs. Punished Props. Oh yeah, I used to watch them a lot. SKS Props and Kui Mao Cosplay. I watched her as well. Very good if you do cosplay stuff, like master crafter of the foam for sure. For DIY projects and awesome costume, prop creation and outdoor adventures. IB Tat in Darwin on the trail for long distance hiking videos. And Brandon chimes in with Explore with Us and Coffee House Crimes. I used to watch an exploring channel called Exploring with Josh.
Huh.
And I got suggested some other channels and stuff like that. And it was kind of interesting. They would just go to these like abandoned buildings essentially. And a lot of those started to kick off. Like a lot of people like watching those.
Oh, I used to watch a lot of Dead Mall series stuff. Hey,
Yeah.
Russ, tell me that one YouTuber that he was talking about was hot. I just wanted to get I want to get a video for us so we can see who she is.
Let's see, where was he? Paige Spiranac.
Okay, let's see. I'm gonna give my thoughts on what.
Your live
Well, I'm gonna have to say, based on this, that he was telling the truth.
the
Hang on.
terrible focuses. There she is. Oh,
Yeah.
she's like a blonde bombshell.
Yeah,
Pretty good. Easy on the eye.
that's right.
And then what do we have here? Instagram, our weekly Warp Pipe Instagram page. My buddy Mike Butler, who was on the show a few weeks back. He runs the podcast Forgotten Cinema. Mike says, used to watch mostly gaming stuff, but now I mostly watch a lot of informative videos about history and science, like Thoughty 2 and Kruzgak. I do watch it. I don't think I pronounced it right, but I do watch that channel. Everything is animated in a particular color, and they are very, very informative. And they talk a lot about space and fun stuff like that. I can't pronounce it, but I think it's a German word. The occasional paranormal channel like the Y-Files, which we mentioned, and food stuff like Babish and Beard Meets Food. That's spelled MEATS, Meets Food. Plus this one channel, what's it called? Oh yeah, Forgotten Cinema Podcast. Little shout out.
To himself.
Scruffy GIF. I love thrifting videos like Thrift School and Nerdy and Geeky. And yes, some game room tours. I usually watch YouTube when I'm at work or doing the dishes.
I do it when I do the dishes too.
How do you have that propped up? Like an
On my
iPad or just have your phone down?
on my window ledge,
Oh, there we go. Getting creative with that.
because it sits right there in front of me and just popped up in the window ledge.
I will say, so this airs Saturday, right? So tomorrow, Sunday, me and Mike are actually headed to this restaurant called Doogie's, which is a hot dog restaurant.
Doogie Howsers?
So they sell hot dogs, no Doogie Housers. But they have a hot dog challenge, which Beard Meets Food did the hot dog challenge. I should probably bring up the video and show you.
Dude,
But
please do it, Russ, and put on Snacky Snack Time.
me and Mike
Please.
are going there to do the challenge.
Are you gonna film it and Snacky Snack Time it?
Yeah,
please?
so it's going to be a long snacky snack time.
Yes.
Beard Meets Food, Doogies.
Now I'm pumped. Please tell me when it comes out. Text
I
me
don't.
like the day it
I,
does.
I I don't have full confidence that I'll be able to finish this.
Yes, you will, Russ. Quiet.
So the challenge is you have 20 minutes to finish 2 2-foot hot dogs
Oh
with
my
4
gosh.
toppings on it,
That's like the size of a small human.
plus fries and a soda.
Dude, I could do it. I know I could do this.
So you have to have premium toppings, they said. So it can't be ketchup, mustard. It's got to be like chili. He put bacon, cheese.
Oh my gosh. Where is this? Is this in Connecticut?
Yeah, it's in Newington, Connecticut.
Oh,
Doogies.
Oh, now I'm gonna have to go to Connecticut because I want this hot dog. I'm really hungry right now too, which doesn't help.
So he does it in, I think, like 14 minutes or maybe even
Oh,
less.
you know what? Let me rephrase. The 20-minute time frame, I probably would get destroyed on. I bet I could do it in 30.
Well, I had thought it was originally an hour, and I was like, "Oh yeah, totally." But I was like, 20. That's not even 10 minutes a dog because you still have to eat the fries and finish your soda.
Dude, that looks so delicious. It makes me want to go to Sonic right now and get a coney.
So we've been watching this guy do some food challenge and stuff, and I tried thinking about how to prep and this and that. But hey, it's going to be an interesting, fun video. It will be up on my channel, Snacky Snack Time, if you guys aren't subscribed to that already. And it'll probably be, a longer video. I will speed up. It's not going to be in real time of me eating the hot dog for 20 minutes. But
Dude, I'm so jealous you get to eat that. Oh,
But yeah, those are some channels we have been watching. As for, I think we touched on a little bit when and where we consume it. Most of the time, I'm on the couch. Usually, me and my wife will put Gwen to bed at like 8 o'clock, and then we'll put on YouTube and kind of watch stuff together for a little bit. And she'll pass out on the couch, so then I'll have the remote and kind of switch to one of those channels that I kind of talked about that I'll watch where she's not much interested in.
right on. I watch mine in bed. So
Just with the phone.
just with the phone. Yep. Drop it on my face when I fall asleep.
Yeah.
Been there, done that.
I dig it. If you guys got any topics for us you want us to cover, you can shoot over a voicemail. Where's our voicemail? Where's our phone number? Right here. Boom. 949-682-9277. That's 949-682-WARP. Leave us a voicemail. Tell us how we're doing. Tell us the topic you want us to cover. Quick shout out to our Patreons. We got Dan and Nicole's Treasures Untold, Joe Sheevy, Trace Living Good, Samantha Chang, Rodney Torres, Retroholic 16, and Austin Mills. Those are the top tier Patreon supporters, but you can support us at any level. Head over to patreon.com/Russ Lyman to do so. We got new episodes every Wednesday and every Saturday at 7 a.m. You can catch us on the YouTube channel or listen on Spotify, Google, iTunes, right? I think Google's getting absorbed, I heard.
Yeah, I
I
heard
think
Google's going by the
you're
wayside.
you're losing that. I think it's going to be part of iTunes. So,
I just get on my iPhone and type in pod, and there's like a little podcast thing,
mm-hmm.
and then bam, right there.
Weekly Word Pipe. Perfect. Well, we appreciate everyone listening, hanging out with us. Hope you enjoyed this episode and many more. We never did a vote. I kind of want to come up with a better tagline for leaving because I always use mine where keep your world fun bit by bit, but I think we need a warp pipe one.
Stay warped.
Stay warped. Jump in the warp pipe with us and
Jump
enjoy.
back out of the warp pipe.
We'll see you on the next warp pipe dive.
See you in the Mushroom Kingdom.
I don't know. We'll do a poll, I guess, on our YouTube or something. Come up with our tagline. Leave a voicemail and let us know.
Yeah, leave a voicemail. Let us know.
Sweet. All right. As always, I'm Russ Lyman. Keep your world fun bit by bit.